The River Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. It was not always so. Long ago, the old empire, the noblest and most enduring society created by humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zerine, the cradle of man. But after several millennia of progress and incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse of the realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty. Subjugating weaker realms, enslaving whole nations, strip mining foreign resources, oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts, genocide. Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors wrought in their name. Foretold by an abundance of divine omens, they descended upon the empire to right its wrongs. Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity, they annihilated the empire in a matter of days. The gods then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken and they left this reality, never to return. The continent and its inhabitants seemed dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the Calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized that they had to share their new home with changed and twisted creatures. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality and rose to rule over the natives. In time, these new powers rebuilt the fallen empire in their own image, and the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes. The inhabitants of the land, such as I, now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself constantly resists our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the River Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagrus. Ah, yes. A Vagrus. What a profession. Daring and savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity, and of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh? And you are a Vagrus too, are you not? Many of your kind have I seen in my long life as a vagabond. Care to listen to a story about your exquisite occupation, good master? It is a tale of woe and terror, but it is also a tale that is true, as I have seen it with mine own eyes. Wise you are, good master. My tale is of a Vagrus, such as yourself, but one whose fate was cursed and wrought with ill fortune. It all happened. This comitatus I speak of had fallen under hard times. Perhaps it was due to imperial harassment or unfortunate decisions, or simply bad luck. Irafrons, Saint of Rhodes, does not always smile on us. As we were coming up to the gates of Scrap Heap, this trash pile town of cutthroats and scavengers, we could see the vast mountain ranges of shattered Bivandar Thar looming ominously over the horizon, half shrouded in the gaseous vapors belched forth by the volcanoes in the far west. My companions prepared to do their business in town as fast as they could, not wishing to tarry in this notorious place.
Few frequent establishment device perfect for Nabo in his operation of honest merchants. Apparently the knave is not only alive, but has done well for himself in the past decade or so. Taking knowledge of leave the commuter to the care of Titus, your quartermaster, while you are gone negotiating. Ash is flitting from the black sky as you cross the street and nodded Onsa. You give him your sidearms quietly. Rules are rules, at least as long as they can enforce them. Yet they have the courtesy of allowing you to keep your dagger, and of course, they have no idea what Havoc is capable of, should it come to a scuffle. Not to expect such a thing, but with one never knows. Though you have told your crew that he and you go way back, the entrepreneur is a capricious and manipulative man with whom you didn't part on the best of terms. Does he remember that? Surely. Could he be persuaded to take your proposal? Who knows? Your eyes slowly adjust to the dimness of the tavern's interior. Only a few candles and a lamp at the bar illuminate the common room. Shadowy faces turn toward you and observe you through the smoke. The bartender, a thick-set man in a tunic, is chewing tobacco serenely. Above the bar hangs the skeleton of a large heaped laser display. Narbo is sitting at a table in the back, his bodyguard half hidden in the darkness at the wall behind him. Don't know, I actually wanted to choose one, but at the same time probably 2 is the most safe. Your eyes slowly adjust to the dimness of tavern's interior, only a few candles, blah blah blah. The bartender, a thick-set man in dirty tunic, is chewing tobacco concernedly. This one. Above the bar hangs the skeleton of a large heaped lizard. This one. On display. Narbo is sitting at the table in the back. This one. His bodyguard half hidden in the darkness at the wall behind him. I'm actually didn't... I mean, there are lots of narration in this, but this is so good and greatly intriguing. Let's toast this way. The bartender devils a belch, and not his greetings. What can I do, Yafo? The way he grabs an earthenware mug suggests that it would really be best to order something. You glance at Yafek briefly before paying for 2 rounds of a local mushroom brew called Ash Tong. It's somewhat less loathsome than you imagine. Leaning over your drink, you quietly tell the barman that you are here to see Namba. INL, he's doing calculations and he don't like to be bothered when he's doing calculations. He indicates Namba at the corner table with a nod. The entrepreneur is indeed busy poring over a stack of papers and fiddling with the calculus. You chat with the bartender while sipping your beer. Most of it is boring small talk, but when the conversation turns into a discussion of local prices, you notice Yafek's stern expression and the small hand gesture he makes. This is a signal you two have been using for a long time now, indicating that he has gleaned something from the man's surface thoughts. When minutes later the bartender goes to the back to check on the kitchen, Yafek leans closer. Apparently there is a supply of meat and mushrooms that has surplus on his hands he wants to get rid of quickly. You can't help but smile and nod. This could save you quite a lot of coin. Also, your friend Narbo seems to be having some trouble with the package. In his mind, it's constant frustration in connection to the Heap King. You nod to Yafek and notice how the sleazy merchant has stopped fiddling with the calculus and is now looking at some paper listlessly. It's time. Okay. The entrepreneur looks up from a stack of paper in front of him and rubs his eyes. Narbo is a corpulent man with a bushy dark beard and a few missing teeth. Part of his face is covered in scars similar to those left by old burns. That, coupled with the withered and mutilated left arm that hangs limply at his side, is a clear indication of the taint. The merchant wears a leather jerkin studded with small bronze and bone coins, a sign of wealth and boldness. His bodyguard, a lithe man with tribal tattoos and outfit made of leather, moves his hand calmly to a spear that leans against the wall. Narbo's mouth falls open as the spark of recognition flares up in his eyes. No wonder. It has been 10 years. The fuck, mate? He blinks. I thought you croak. People, Narbo waves his good horn around and looks at his bodyguard. Told tales of your demise. The man finishes his sentence for him as the merchant nods vehemently. That business with Karnak outpost in the storm, Narbo adds. You tell him that you were indeed at Karnak when the terrible arcane storm struck. You describe the horrors of the night bravely. You add how many of your original committees died there, close friends or traveling companions, but you walk away unscathed. This was years ago. Sheesh! That fucker Ravens look after your something feast, eh? Eh? Narmo chuckles heartily, but I'm sure you haven't come to reminisce about good old times, eh? His predatory smile makes you cautious, even though he invites you to sit down with a casual wave of his beady hand. Wow, first one is really good. Far as I can tell, you never did anything against me, eh? Nabu shrugged with a wry smile. Cause you couldn't send someone to warn us. The bodyguard finished the sentence. Back when Narbo and you parted ways, Avernum's Collegium was hot on your trails. They got offended by how you two outplayed them by smuggling in a shipment of exotic spices without their knowledge and selling it to a local nobleman's merchant house. You look at Narbo and tell him there was no way of warning him or even knowing where he was after the chaos was unleashed following the ice in Avernum. You had to get your crew out of there, so you did. The merchant is fiddling thoughtfully with a stack of papers while listening to you. I appreciate you coming clean even if this sorry business was so many years ago, he says after a long pause. The bodyguard becomes visibly less tense, but something tells me that ain't all you came for still. So what is it? This actually is so cool. This is 20 minutes into the game and it actually feels like Narnia. I mean, with all of this illustration. You breathe in. Time to outline the proposition. Let's see this. Collegium is traditional imperial association, a kind of guild with its own rules, rights, and obligations. In the Fourth Age, they have become little more than organized crime syndicates that run the underworld of imperial cities. God, the wiki is so extensive. Let's continue. You explain. Some choices have dependency, meaning you can only pick a certain choice if you have the right prerequisite. Perks, companions, resources, journal entries, and so on. Some choices involve tests that can be failed or succeeded with different consequences. Perks, character, and resources can change the chance of success in tests. Test difficulty is represented by a number between 1 and 100 that you need to roll equal to or below. Okay. She explained to Narbo how you want him to give you a discount on a shipment of metal scraps, which you then would smuggle into Riven through contacts that you have in the cities of the world. The profit on the shipment would be quite exquisite. You do not name your contact, but divulge enough of her that the plan looks solid. It's a she? Ah, the underworld, okay. Buyers, you say, are lining up expecting the shipment soon. Now proceed in silence, eyes fixed on the table as if listening to some noise from afar. He doesn't cut you off at any time during your position. At length, after you are done, he looks up and gives you a weak smile. That sounds like you've been thinking about a long time about it, he says as he shifts in his chair. And it's a great plan, except for the part where I give you a discount for your asking and not much else. And I don't do that, mate. That would make me Almona. What is this? What is an almoner? How am I supposed to understand this? Tell him that you will be in his debt. We will make a tidy profit as it is, but you will owe him a favor. Moderate chance of success. What does this mean? Increase your chance of succeeding in the test by 10%. 2. Resourcefulness. However, resourcefulness? What is that? Cargo space. Offensive power. Defensive. Oh, what is this? Movement. March movement points. Supplies. How do you know how much you have? I don't know. I wanna choose 4 because this seems to be. Oh, Nerva's secret value must exceed the requirement. Okay. I suppose you don't plan on croaking just so I can't collect on said debt. Alright, well, I know you have to be a man of your word and we used to run together, so I know you're good. But just to be clear, you do owe me for this and I'll collect. I'll collect right now, in fact. You headed to Devon by way of the Vernon, eh? When you knock, the leans closer and signals his bodyguard. The man with dreadlocks steps closer and carefully produces a small packet from beneath his leather jerkin, then puts it into the merchant's palm. This here little fellow is mighty important to me, say. If you take this out of the city and deliver it to my associate in Venom, where even you get a discount scrap from me. The merchant offers you the package. Yafik draws in a breath, but before he could speak, Nervo interrupts him. And before Pretty Boy is us, no, I won't tell you what's in it, and don't even think about opening the package. What I can say is, it ain't dangerous to you yourself, but you might want to keep it hidden from the damn militia of good old crap heap. You take the package. The way Nervo glares at you makes it clear that you have no other choice. This might just be the opportunity you had hoped for. The package is small enough to fit your palm, feels very light and is wrapped in fine leather. You pocket it after briefly observing it. You'll be looking for a man named Scornor in Avernum. He ain't to be traveled with either. Just tell him I sent ya and you'll be fine. You can find him or his men in Lebanon's watering hole most of the time. Give this little fella to him and to him only. Understand? Okay, they will know what price they should give you on the metal scraps by then. Ravur, we'll take you to the back exit. Ah, the bodyguard name. We don't want to give people the idea they can come here to beg for almonds now, do we? Or anyone to connect us and run to the militia for that matter. You got what you came for, so you leave the race stash through the back entrance and head back to the comitatus. And I got an achievement, the package. What does it mean? Your journal located in the bottom left is now active. It's your means to follow stories and tasks. Open your journal now by clicking on the book in the bottom left corner. Now. Second. Scrap heap. At the foot of the ever-fuming mountains of the ancient dwarven kingdom lies Scrap Heap, the town of scavengers. Debris in Tron is piled into veritable hills upon which the rickety homes of decrepit inhabitants stand precariously. Ash lingers everywhere and the sun is almost always absent from the twilight. skies. Deals are struck day and night over the precious metals scraps gathered in the ruins of nearby the Vendor Thar, while the Heap King oversees all from his dreaded tower. Shady eyes and soot-covered faces watch from under ash-laden awnings. Life is cheaper than iron here, some say. Ah, I'm just rereading things that I have saw before. Stroll Scrounger's Lane. Walk up to the tower. Wow, the journal allows you to view your cast, tasks, and other related information. You can search for entries and filter them, drop down filter buttons. Entries are separated into objective and qualities into their respective panes. Objective are your cast and ongoing stories. Blah 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 blah. Tasks are non-narrative mission and goals you can complete for rewards. Qualities can be statuses, gather information, secrets, and so on. Okay. Objective. The package. You receive a package from your old friend Narbo. Deliver it to a man named Scorner in Avernum. You must save your commutators by taking a large shipment of metal to Riven. Buy everything for the journey at the market. Before scrap metal goods have at least 800. 800? We have 60? No? Oh, we have 700, okay. The awnings equipment. Mountains of fire. A wandering old man. Deliver the wandering old man to Ash. What a design! The market pane is now active. Navigate to the market pane by clicking on the scales icon. Scales icon? Which one? Close. Can I close? No? Oh, this one. Scales. The market pane displays the available goods you can buy at the settlement's market on the right and opens your cargo pane on the left. You can buy goods from the market or sell your own goods for your cargo hold here. The maximum cargo space is 600 and then it cannot be expanded further. 600? Buy or sell one increment only by clicking on the buy or sell button next to the listed goods. Holding shift and clicking the buy sells a whole stack. Drag and drop. Holding shift and click the icon where you can specify the quantity you wish to buy or sell. Purchase 24 scrap metal. How much do I have? I don't know. So should I buy? I have to purchase this. A second, let's see the journal. The shipment, I have to buy 24 and 800 in awnings equipment. What is that? Close. I have to purchase this. No. Like this. What is? Oh. This is gone. Okay, and I have to buy this one. Okay. Hey, only 6. Okay, I only have 565 now. Equipment that you can attach to the commutators is sold on some markets or found throughout your travels. They provide bonuses and upgrades. You can switch between the market of goods and equipment using the buttons over the list of items of the market pane. Awnings equipment. This one. Equipment you own are in a pool before they commit to this illustration. Honestly, this is so confusing at the same time, but it's so pretty. So are we done? I guess. I mean, we have one, no? So what to do with this? One beast of burdens, what is that? Is this beast of burden? I don't know. equipment you own are in a pool before the committee's illustration. In order to gain their bonuses, you need to equip them first by dragging and dropping them into an appropriate slot on the illustration. This is awning. Where am I supposed to drag this to? Equip the awnings on your comitatus. This is our comitatus, I guess. But where? Can only be placed in a slot that matches its type, except that equipment of any type can be placed into the miscellaneous slot. You can unequip equipment by dragging it back to the list. Where is the miscellaneous? Is this miscellaneous? Is this miscellaneous? Is this one? This one? This one? No. Companions, deputies. I do not understand. Should I bring it to here? 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 And then where? Here? This is the cargo. What am I supposed to do? I do not understand. You need to equip them first by dragging and dropping them into an appropriate slot on the illustration. This is the illustration, right? Should I do this? No. This? What about this? Or should I bring it here? No, then where? Here? I do not understand. This is miscellaneous. I bring it here and it's not working. Harnesses. Huh? Okay. Items that are type of cargo do not take up cargo space and are not equipable. They are used and traded in certain events. You can switch panes in a settlement and the active pane will open the corresponding pane of the committee's management on the left. You can now freely check the settlement tabs. Settlement tabs? This one? No. This one? This one? This? This one? I have no idea what this actually mean. Settlement plan. Should I actually go close this one? Like this? Oh, I didn't understand. Cannot click any of this. The only thing that I can click is this one, I guess. You can switch panes into a settlement and the active pane will open the corresponding pane of the committee's and management on the left. You can now freely check the settlement tabs. Which one? Settlement plans. I guess this one. I mean, nothing else that I can see out of this settlement things. Click this. No, this is wiki basically. Click this. Not working. Pack up, restock the supplies, and with all your business here concluded, you finally make ready to leave the decrepit town or scrap heap behind in the morning. You set out at dawn, ashes flitting from the sky and the distant mountains rumble ominously in the morning twilight. As you committees reaches the west gate of the town, you notice almost immediately that the militia at the gates is questioning and inspecting traveler. You realize that even if they are looking for the package that Narble gave you, there is a minuscule chance of finding it among several departing caravans, all made of dozens of people respectively. Besides, the packet is tiny and well hidden at the bottom of a sack of dried mushrooms. A raw package straight off the Hip King appears to coordinate the search effort, picking up people or even whole traveling groups for inspection. As your committed draws near, it takes only a passing glance from him to check you and your crew before he motions to the guard to let you through. You quietly pass under the gate and out into the broken wastelands. The committee is well on its way, and Scrap Heap is a mere dot on the horizon by the time Yavek joins you at the front of the line. Just like I said, you made the right choice with this venture. Talk of how you may have saved us all is spreading like wildfire. Agreed, there may be hope left for the committees after all. And you know it's an large, but thanks to you and your abilities, not mine. Oh, this is so humble. Not that I fully agree, but it's my pleasure to be of use. And I'm sure this journey will be fine. It's not like we started this business yesterday. With that, you both go back to your duties and the constant monitoring of the horizon. If all goes well, you should reach the ruin in a few days, where you can turn south along the edge of the Molten Tongue and travel down to Evernote. If I remember correctly, there are only 4 achievements available in this prologue. No? And I have already unlocked 2. Okay. Your progress is saved with checkpoints here, or you can save manually whenever you leave a settlement, reach a checkpoint, or with each in-game new day an autosave occurs. You can save manually in the game menu. Saving is not allowed during combat and events. You can load your save games from the load menu or from the main menu. Okay.
There they were, with a full cargo hold and filled with newfound hope. Yet, the road ahead still promised hardships and peril. I travelled with them southwards, expecting to reach more habitable lands beyond the Molten Tongue's river of lava.
Now what are we going to do? Keep walking? The crew management UI is now active. Click on the sheet in the top left corner to open it. Crew? Oh! See, it's so well designed. God. Crew management windows allows you to manage your commutators. Morale is the general mood of your commutators. If it ever drops to 1, there's a chance that the commutators dissolve and you lose the game. You can see the current effects of your morale below the rating. Obedience indicates how satisfied your slaves are. Low obedience leads to theft, runaways, and worse. Be sure to guard your slaves with enough fighters and treat your slaves well. Nutrition shows you how well fed your crew is. Low increase penalties, extra rations raise nutrition, while starving your crew repeatedly lowers it. Okay. Figure indicates how tired the commutators is. Low figure results in penalties on tasks and drastically slower commutators, which can spell doom quite fast. You can see the current effects of your figure below the rating. Oh my god, so much thing to learn. Slaves, workers, scouts, fighter, outrider, mounts, beast of burden. Upkeep is how much you owe crew. Consumption is how much food your crew consumes each day. Workforce is generated by workers and slaves. Passengers are people your computers takes to their destination for rewards. God, this is so much things to learn. Here you can see the number of each crew and beast type you have in your commit. That is, consult the tooltip for each type to learn more about the role. Outriders are special because you need a fighter and a mount to be able to create an outrider by using the plus button. While they are excellent fighters, mounts with outriders carry cargo. You can always dismount fighters using the minus button. For now, add an outrider, then close this window by clicking the X top right corner. Add the outrider by like this. Close this window by clicking X. Only one. Should we continue? You have run out of movement points and need to camp ending the day. Being on the road all day lowers the figure of your committed state you can replenish by camping. You can also camp earlier than running out of MPs, which helps raise figure faster. Select the camp icon from the radial menu on the node you currently occupy. This one. Okay. Wow, look at the illustration! At the end of each in-game day, the committed makes camp and settles down for the night. Supplies are consumed and movement points are refreshed after camping. At each camp, you can decide to offer normal or double wages for the current day independently of whether you pay them or no. Double payment increases morale. You can also choose to pay all your debts to your crew at this time or accrue payments, but the longer you delay, the grumpier the crew gets. Obedience and nutrition also appear here, as well as the options to discipline or liberate slaves. Workforce shows how much workforce you need to maintain the comitatus. My god. All the lock icons allow you to save the current setting of the corresponding UI element so that it remains the same for the next camp. Under hunting and foraging, you can send your crew out into the wasteland to find supplies and sometimes even other goods. Hunting uses scouts and has a chance to get you a large number of supplies. Foraging is more reliable but yields fewer supplies. It can use workers and slaves. Okay. The summary of what happened to your crew that day can be seen on the right. I honestly don't understand what am I going to do. A lot of things. How much do we have right now? So should I continue? 1, 2, 3, 9. Another camp. Okay. After a long day's march under bleak skies and harassed by hot winds, the comitatus finally settles down in a wide ravine. After taking care of camp chores and checking on all your comms, you go to your tent and tuck in for the night. There are benefits to sleeping out in the wasteland. The silence is quite calming, tranquil even. Only the murmur of the distant fire-belching mountains, the whisper of the wind, and the occasional groans of your bees can be heard, except something else is making a muffled noise you do not recognize. Wow. Leaving your tent and passing the sleeping bees, you are just about to call to a guard when you stumble upon a large quadrupedal creature covered with fused bone protrusions. It's munching on supplies scattered across the ground, evidently from a torn open sack lying nearby. This creature is a yakra, a wasteland scavenger that hunts in packs. Before you can utter a word, the monster charges you, and out of the shadows, Morgan leaps at it, tackling it aside and cutting its hide with her bone axe in a follow-up swing. There is more of these accursed things, boss. Must have sneak past of the perimeter guards. They are trying to chase them off. As he does, you can hear yelling and the sounds of a battle from around camp. The wounded Yakra is joined by another one from behind a cargo pile, and the two of them start circling you. Huh. Suddenly it became turn-based fight. The order in which combatants receive the turn is according to their initiative. Ini. Now what is done? The Ini order shows the order in which combatants receive their turns. Wise leaders use this information to plan ahead. So... oh my god. Melee skills can only be used from the front row.